What up, YouTube? Asian Persuasion here. Here's my boy Slim. You already know. We're here with the one
and
the only Pat, who
First
just
feature on the channel?
yes sir, the first one. And we're here at YCS Niagara Falls, and you got top 8.
Top 8, yeah, top 8. Yeah, I lost to Gunther, so he's one of my boys, so I hope he takes it all and wins it.
Yeah, because the top 4 cut is stacked.
This whole top cut was actually
There's 3 rings, and no, there's multiple rings.
Multiple rings,
bro.
Heck yeah, man. All right, so what did you play this weekend, bro?
I played Tearlaments Spright, P.U.N.K Dangers.
Did you just play all the best decks in one, bro?
I did. Shout out to Dom. He was the one who actually gave me the deck list the night before. I was gonna play a completely different deck, but I decided to play because I'm very familiar with how P.U.N.K Tournament already works. So I know like the obscure lines with like Garua and Necro Shinobi, like one of my favorite cards. And the only thing that he added was kind of like the Sprite Engine, which I never really tested that much. But the night before we played a bunch, and I saw how powerful the Sprite Engine was, and providing that versatility was like amazing. So I got convinced last minute to change my deck and play it. I originally was gonna play a different deck, which is gonna be the Lunalite Tearlaments strategy. So I'll leave that for another time.
Check out his channel later. It'll be there down there.
But maybe after I win with it or something, we'll see.
You're busy cooking the goo, we know.
Yeah.
It's brewing, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to show you guys this profile. I watched both of you guys when I first started out, and still am. So it's cool to be on the opposite side of things.
Oh God, yes. You want to do shout-outs first?
Yeah, shout-outs.
Shout out to Sam, Triff, and Milano for letting me stay there and be with them. Shout out to like all my friends in the Bozo Chords. You guys know who they are. Like Hani, Gunther, Kamal, Ruben, Pat. I can keep on going, but shout out to all those guys. They're amazing. Chris. So yeah.
Awesome. Let's get into it, baby. Let's see it, Pac.
So I played 2 Rhinoheart because I have additional normal summons with Aiming in my deck now. And I find Miru being a better normal summon because of level 2, which works better with your Sprite Blue. So I decided only to play 2 Rhinoheart. The reason why you have to play 2 is because if you turn 1 Hoffman to your opponent and hit 2 names, you're able to end on Stapelia Kaleidoheart, which bounces a shuffle back to card and negates a card. But your Kaleidoheart gets banished. So having you need a second one in the deck to like search essentially. So that's the main reason. Also makes Dweller, so having 2 is nice. 3 Miru, 3 Hoffness, and 3 Sharon. I'm not really gonna explain these. I just max these cards out because they're like some of the best in the deck. But yeah, so that's it. 11 cards there for the tier engine. I played 5 Dangers, just the best ones. Nessie, Jackalope, and Tsuchinoko. These cards, Nessie I think was the best one. These cards just always got sniped, so they're basically Nesties. But Nessie was really amazing because if you play the P.U.N.K engine, you're able to make Baron randomly by using Nessie and Aiming. So I find that being very useful to like continue your plays or like breakthrough boards. I actually won one of my games in a crazy simplified game state by using Nessie and an Aiming to make Baron, and that card won me the game. So
broken.
Yep. Then for the P.U.N.K engine, I just played 1 Aiming, 1 Deer Note, and 1 Foxatoon. So these 2 cards are not really bricks. This card is a pseudo brick for sure. But this card actually won me against a Runic Mind Player by tribute setting over it to turn off my opponent's floodgate, and then my opponent can't use the Runic cards. So this card is insane. This card being a level 5 is also really nice because when Destrudo targets a level 4 monster, which is very common, becomes a level 3. So you can tribute summon for Deer Note, and then because you can go something like Shaylin Mill. If you hit a Destrudo, you can go Destrudo target Shaylin, which makes Destrudo level 3. You tribute summon for Deer Note over the Shaylin, then you can use both of them to make Chaos Ruler. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. 1 Shinobi, 1 Snow, 1 Destrudo. So these are like all the 1-ofs. This card you play because it gives you more access to help, which lets you see this card often. And if you're able to access this card, you get access to Chaos Ruler because of the fact that like Garua, you make Garua, and Garua plus Shinobi is just Chaos Ruler, which is insane.
Yeah, you were on that at Nats, I remember.
Yeah. And then what's really cool with Shinobi and Snow is that Snow can banish Shinobi from the graveyard, which allows you to actually bring this card back. And there's going to be game states where you summon this card back, Snow your opponent, trigger Shinobi, come back. And then I had a Sheeran on the board, and I used Necro plus Snow plus Sheeran to make Baron out of nowhere too.
Bro.
So there's a lot of really cool sequence and lines with this play where you make some very unintuitive synchro plays, which I really like. 3 blue, 1 jet, 1 red, and then 1 smashers for the Sprite Engine. So the logic here is that if you resolve your P.U.N.K combo, you're able to get blue. If you mill it, you grab the blue, then you make 5 racks. 5 racks in summon Shinobi, you can special blue and cook your opponent. And then it makes your dark way better if you have Sprite cards in your deck. I actually beat Gunther game 2 because just by playing a Sprite deck. Because I made Gigantic Sprite after using dark to take his Miru, overlaid with it. And then I have a really big Gigantic, then go Gigantic, summon blue, blue get red, and I won the grind game with red basically. So these cards, like, basically if you break all your opponent, I think like if you bait all your opponent's cards, 1 dark, take blue, just kills, like, just is insane. I had to do that against other players as well, so it's really good. For all the spells, 3 emergency teleport, God card. Every time I open this, I won. Except top 8.
Except for top 8.
Super Poly, card's insane. If you get Abyss Swallowed, having it set Super Poly allows you to play on your opponent's turn. So that's really nice. Also, if your opponent plays around Gamma, game 2s and 3, not use Dweller in draw or standby phase, if you have a Rhinoheart, you can set Rhinoheart and priority Super Poly the Rhinoheart in their Dweller. And that makes Mud Dragon, which turns off all their back row anyways. It turns off their Stapelia, turns off their Sullik and everything. And then you can trigger Rhinoheart.
That's insane.
3 field, 1 instant, and then finally the Spice, the 3 droplets. I think this card was insane for me. I actually won my bubble match against Blair because I went teleport, chain droplet. Sent both my emergency teleport and a name. Negated his whole board. But the reason why I play this card was mainly to like counteract like Dweller. There are ways your opponent can beat the Dweller. Beat the droplets on Dweller because they can chain their trap, then chain Dweller, then chain Snow, or something along those lines. But I still wanted to play it because sometimes your opponent, like, if they have to open like really, really broken to end on like Dweller and trap as well. So I wanted to play it in case like your opponent makes Dweller but don't have the trap. And I think those situations comes up enough. And when you go first, it's a better card than Dark Ruler. Yeah. So I think this card was really, really good. And then the half, also like droplets actually won me my top 6 seed match as well because my opponent started swinging for game to deal damage. I dropped it in damage step and was up in life to win.
Bro,
yeah. So he droplets me and I reverse droplets him is what happened.
Yeah.
So those are all the broken spells. And then 1 Eradicator because I do this blind every combo. I don't send Snow with Cures, I always send this card. And then Sully, 2. Deck's 44 cards. It could have been 43. But I added these last minute to make it 41, 43 or 4. I definitely don't regret having this.
Yeah, won you some games.
Yep. Shout out to Sam and Truth.
Oh, yes.
Then we have, I'll go into the extra deck first. So I play 5 fusions, pretty much the standard ones. Kikalos, Kaleido Heart, Mud Garua, and Stapelia. Extra is very tight. You could play second Kikalos, but in my opinion, I don't think it comes up that often. I didn't really have an issue with not having a second one because the loop that you do is you go Kikalos, then you make this by putting back the Kikalos and a name. Then you, the next thing you make is like Stapelia, which puts this back. So you can see that like you have an infinite, like if you use your fusions correctly, then you make Mud, you put this back. Then you make this.
Yep.
And so like if you use your fusions correctly,
they should
always be in rotation. It only comes up when you open instant fusion, where it's kind of suspect because then this gets summoned, so you have to do your rotation slightly differently. Other than that, for the most part, if you do your rotations correctly, you should never worry about like not having a second Kalos. The only time it really comes up to have a second one is when you get hand trapped into death. You get hand trapped until Oblivion, which is what Gunther had. He had 3 hand traps game 1. And in the grind game 1, I actually top deck instant fusion, but I didn't have a second kit. But he had impermanence anyways. But the kid would have died at end phase in node 5, so who knows what would have happened.
Yeah. Could hit some tears, popped off a little more.
Yep. So those are the fusions. For the links, I played double elf. This card is broken.
This card's ban worthy, bro.
This card is insane. I wish I could play 3 of this card. Like this card was so good. Like I win so many grind games just using elf bring back Miru. And then it's just like an insane card. Having 2 actually came up, and I'm very thankful I had 2 because there's a lot of game states where like you go elf bring back Miru mill 3, and then you overlay for Gigantic, you detach the Miru, and then you summon sorry. If you don't have access to Miru, you go elf bring back like a level 2 overlay, summon the Miru from your deck, then you use Gigantic plus Mirror to make Elf, and now you have an Elf to like maybe get lucky on their turn.
Yeah.
So like it's just like giving you the highest chance to like win basically. And also like if you mill any of your like Sprite Engine, this card just grabs it back. So that's why you play 3 blue, because you actually want to mill blue to add back with Elf. And then after that you get access to red. And so the way the deck is designed is that it's supposed to beat like multitudes of hand traps, because I actually thought that more people would be playing hand traps this event than normal, because if you think about it, like everyone's playing board breakers, but if you're playing board breakers, you auto lose to like the Eradicator combo and like all these insane combos, so you can't really do that because all the board breakers are like spells. So like the meta call would be to like play hand traps, which is what Gunter's doing. He's playing like 15 hand traps in a tier deck, similar to what won in Oceanics. And what the Sprite card is allowed to do is that it allows you to beat hand traps more consistently. Same thing with the Punk cards, because what does the Sprite Engine do? It puts up red, pointing to Elf, which is really awkward for your opponent because they can like nib imperm you. Same thing with Baron, where like you make Baron underneath Elf and they can't nib imperm you, so they're forced to like nib in awkward positions, which also turns off their impermanence, which is like also like a kind of nice. But yeah, so they would have to implement some other weird spots. I never actually start off with my tier line plays. I always start off with Punk plays or like Sprite plays.
Yeah.
One dark God card. Like I took everything.
Yeah, that card is insane.
There was one game I took IP, and then I made 0 Boros, and my opponent forgot it was made with his IP, which protects
Tried
him
to
from
pop it?
protection. Yeah.
And it didn't
Yeah, I
work.
just one tapped him. Yeah.
Oh man.
Fibrax, this card is insane too. Yeah, I'm really happy with this card because usually when I go second into boards, I keep the Punk Engine in because they'll always interrupt the Amen. So like what happens to Amen is that like you teleport it out and they'll like imperm it, right?
Yeah.
Well, you use the Amen to go Fibrax and you summon Shinobi, so that by itself makes like a Gigantic, or it gives you access to Elf, which brings back Mirror at any point in the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I really like that card. Curious, it's like probably one of the best Link 3s. It's literally the Ball of All Chain. It's probably bannable too. The card is really insane. 0 Boros and Griffin. I keep this card on my end board, which a lot of people don't, and it's broken. Like this card is insane. Like usually my board is something like Elf. My board is usually like this: Elf, this, and then I play the last two things I play is Chaos Driller and Baron. There's a lot of really intuitive ways to make this, like I explained. Like Garua plus Shinobi comes up so much, but this is usually like the end board I go for with like Eradicator set, and then Sully as well. And like
That's so hard to break.
yeah, you'll see that I actually don't play Dweller as 15th. My last 15th slot is actually the Gigantic, the XYZ, but this is the board you go for, and like you just can't lose anything.
Yeah.
Like it's so broken because even if they like chain their starter, right? Sure, resolves. I see their whole hand. They summon blue. They can't use blue because it has nothing to point to. And the only time they can ever get access to something like Link arrows, they just lose. Like if they go like if they make Elf, they can't even use Elf because they would point to nothing. So like Griffin by itself is literally like Dweller on steroids. Like it like dwellers you on the board, and even if your opponent fusion summons, right? They go share and pitch whatever, make Kakalos. Sure, you can't use Kakalos.
Yeah, I can't use this effect.
So like it's really really hard. And what's really crazy is like usually you also get access to Smashers depending if you milled or not. If you don't mill Smashers, your end board also it's basically this with Smashers as well.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's like just teleport. Like
Yeah.
teleport by itself. And
That's
like a
awesome.
couple, if you hit a couple names on the way, it just ends on this almost every time.
Jesus.
So it's like really, really good.
Yeah, putting Griffin in the middle of the field, you're pissing
Yeah.
me off. That card's an FTK
Yeah,
in
that
there.
card is really, really hard to out. Like the logic is the reason why you end on Eradicator and Spell Canceller because the only way they out this is with spells, but Eradicator turns off their spells.
Yeah.
So basically now they're under skill drain and like they like can't play the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really hard for them to win. Trying to think if there's anything else, but I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, this card was really good.
Yeah, Dwellers.
For the side deck, I played 3 Nibiru for the mirror match. I think like every other version of the Tearlaments that people are playing don't really respect this card. Like they would just die to like 1 nib. That's why I chose to play this version so it doesn't die to 1 nib. But yeah. Then you have the Gamma package. I said this card is going first every time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what deck because it's actually a card I summon off teleport. In one of my games, I actually use teleport to summon Gamma, then summon Blue from my hand, which I was like, damn, am I
Full
playing?
combo.
I'm playing a spread deck. So yeah, it's really really good. Especially if you open like 2 teleports, then it's nice having a second target in your deck. Essentially, one of my games against Runic Sprite, I think they actually shifted me, and I gammed them turn 1, and I summoned Gamma Driver, and then I special red from my hand. Then special blue.
Oh my god.
Search Jet, then make Chaos Driller, and then just game.
Oh my god, he got buried.
Yeah, but I always put this card going first. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's really, really insane.
Too impactful.
Yep. Then I played Side Dweller because you usually want to have this card just in case like you can't somehow like do the combo, especially against like decks like Gunther's, which plays like more hand traps. You might not always get there, so that's why I chose to like just side this card. But yeah, I think it was pretty good siding this card. To be honest, I actually only sided it in once. Because every time I go first, if I win the roll, I go first, I do that combo, and I just auto win.
Yeah.
And then game 3, like, it's the same thing, so. Double Canceller, and then Red Reboot, and then the Spice, 3 anti-magic arrows.
Oh god, I saw you that resolve, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
card.
so this card is basically more copies of Red Reboot. Because essentially, like, if you try to go enter battle phase, your opponents are not going to flip their floods preemptively. Because they're going to read that's evenly matched, right? Because, you go like, draw, standby main, attempt to enter battle, they're going to be like, okay, this guy probably has evenly matched.
Yeah, they let it happen.
Well, what they won't know is I'm actually going to anti-magic girls them, turn off their whole back row, and then after that, 0 board them for 5. And then set up the board afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then the reason why I cite 2 spell cancelers is because, essentially, against the runic deck, having this card is really nice because all you do is you tribute set for it, and then you wait until you draw anti-magic arrows.
Yeah.
You go enter battle, you anti-magic arrow them, then you flip this up, and then they can't judgment the summon of this because the judgment is turned off by this, basically. So I played 2 just in case one gets hit off like the runic tip.
Yeah.
But I was very prepared for that deck essentially.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if they have multiple floodgates up. As long as you have this in face-up position, all you do is just keep swinging them for 18 until they're dead.
They die, yeah.
Yeah.
No
So-
answers. Can't summon a lava
Yeah. Last card, the Ladybug for time, only came up once, and I only curious it for it once, but every time I just put it in going first, but I wouldn't try to send it like off curious. I would just do my regular combo and win anyways. And then like I might get lucky in Miller and just get 1,000 for free.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sure.
Time rules suck.
Yeah, time
That's
rules
pretty much
definitely
it.
do suck. All right, Pac, let them know about your channel.
Let 'em know.
I know
If
let
you
'em know.
don't know who this man is,
Yeah, if
but
you guys don't
should
know,
who
but
this man is.
I know who he is, but I know some people.
I also have a YouTube channel, PacTCG, and I also stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to learn more about this game, want to play or how to play it or whatever, you can definitely check me out there on my social media platforms.
And he's also got a kick-ass podcast.
Yes,
Cannot
he
forget
does.
about
He
the
got a
podcast.
podcast going,
Yeah, the
coming.
Goocast is
Yes.
nice.
So we have the
Goocast
Goocast as well, and we have merch being made soon. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so it's literally the Goo. So you don't want to miss it. But yeah, shout out to these guys
we got you.
for just giving me the chance to be on their channel. I appreciate both of you a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
super
Pac.
proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Glad you're able to break the curse. That's all you wanted
Yes.
to do, and you took it far, bro.
Yes,
Be proud.
yes,
You took
yes.
it all the way to top 8. Like
Yeah.
everyone's behind you, and we know you're gonna get another ring soon.
Yeah, I
Yes,
appreciate it.
it's on the way, baby.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations and thank you for the deck.